My flying buddy Richard, that's Flyboy C on YouTube, has made a really excellent night flying video for the last 2 years or so, and has always tried to get me into it, but really it's just looked too scary to me. However, he recently started night flying at a place which seemed to have a lot of light down an unused street, making it less scary, and so I committed to flying a night mission with him at the next Mad Dogs. But first, some changes need to be made. Here's my Bixler 2, and one of the first things I decided I'd need was some LEDs on the wings. Richard made great pains to point out that I'd need these on the top and the bottom of the wings, just so we could be seen from above or below. I'm also flying with my Horizon HD3 camera, which is great for recording HD in nice sunshine, but I have a feeling it will be absolute rubbish in the darkness. First things first, and I've installed these LEDs. They were very cheap, £5 for 5 metres of them off eBay. They run off 12 volts, so I connected them into the canopy via a JST plug, so I could still take the wings off and only plug them in when I needed them. Rather than have to take out my existing Horizon HD3, which is pretty much glued in, I bought another Bixler 2 canopy to put in a new camera, pan tilt and VTX on. I'm using the same connectors as I already have, so I can easily swap them in and out in a few minutes. I'm using the ever popular PZO 420 camera, but the difference with normal, it's an IR sensitive sensor. I've also added this big lens to try and capture all the available light. Not wanting to launch completely untested, I decided to have a walk around my garden at night for a comparison. To start off, here's a GoPro 4 Silver, which barely sees anything, despite the garden being lit up by a streetlight. It's pretty bad, isn't it? So, in this comparison view, I'm comparing the live-out views of the Horizon HD3, which, if anything, is worse than a GoPro, almost completely dark, and the two lenses on the PZO 420 camera. You'll notice that the night lens is slightly narrower. It's a 3.6mm lens instead of the standard 2.8mm stock, but it's picking up more detail, and it's actually more than my eyes can see, so it's pretty impressive, I think. Here we are at Mad Dogs, and rather go straight for a full-on night flight, I decided to go for a dusk flight, just to make sure I'm comfortable before it gets really dark. Now, if you look at the video, you're probably thinking, well, that's not dusk. It looks like midday, but it wasn't, and hopefully you can hear the surprise from other people as well, who were pretty blown away by exactly how much light that camera could get.
Yeah, it's just like daylight, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't think there's a problem in this light. Honestly, it was at dusk.
Yeah, no, that looks like it's in the middle of the day, actually.
Yeah, have a look now. Don't get too close though.
Oh my gosh. It actually does look like the day, I mean.
Yeah, so ready?
It's interesting to fly the valleys or do it,
Yeah, that's as big as our valleys get around here.
Yeah.
That's it. But from Reading, where we're half hour from here, it's just built up everywhere.
So the lens in these conditions was pretty amazing. It really amplifies what light is there. I did think though that it was perhaps a little out of focus, so that needs to be sorted. I flew around for a good 20 minutes and felt good, so back I came. I snapped this quick picture here which hopefully shows the dusk conditions.
Ready?
Yep. Okay.
When you're ready then.
Okay, here we go.
Well, the first hitch, and what we couldn't do, is visit the easy night site to fly from, which has the lovely lit street, so instead we're having to go from the Mad Dogs field. This has a lot less light, but we've got some lights on the ground to hopefully help us, so I get in the sky first for a few circuits while Richard finishes setting up. The lack of ground references in flight is pretty weird. There's really no sense of speed or height. The only things that give me a sense that I'm moving at all are the motorway lights in the distance. As we come back towards the clubhouse, the lights on the ground and the strobe do stand out really nicely. I've got a couple of issues with the lens at this point. One is that it's definitely out of focus, and flying in the darkness really seems to exacerbate the situation. Perhaps linked to that, The other issue is that any light spots it finds really blooms out, so the clubhouse is really just a strange circle of light. There's no real definition or shape to it. Richard finally gets in here and we spend a few minutes trying to find each other.
Can't see him. What height are you at, Richard?
About the same as yours.
Oh no, he's above me. So I'm at 90 at the moment. Well, I am below you. I'm at 90, 95. I'm in that general direction I'm
Yeah,
heading.
you should be, Richard's coming across the field, so...
I didn't see him, despite all the calls that he was close around, but he eventually found me. So this is what the chase looked like from his plane.
20 meters.
All I see is a UFO. Are we coming over ourselves?
Yeah, the rail.
Well, I've got a beautiful view there.
That's good.
Go faster, please. Go faster. No, just like that. Good.
Let's line up.
Good. Stay like that. Excellent. Excellent. Run up. Okay, now, can you get us wherever you want to get us? I can follow you. Just tell me ahead what you're going to do.
Okay, well I'm going to turn around. I'm going to start gradual turning in 100 metres or so, and I'm going to do a left-hander,
Okay.
nice and wide.
Keep talking to me. Yeah? So we're about 430 meters, yeah?
Yeah, so I'm going to start doing my turn now. It's going to be nice and gradual, yeah? And this is going to take us back round.
It's quite beautiful watching this.
Yeah, it is like
This is called synchronized flying in the air. And we got oxygen.
If there was only a word for being in the air, like flying.
Everybody thinks there's UFOs flying around.
619.
He also had a Mobius on the tail of his Easy Star. Of course, it's not the best angle, as the rest of the plane covers the lead plane, but there are a few nice glimpses of my Bixler. It was all going swimmingly until suddenly we got in the situation where I could no longer see the clubhouse or the ground lights, losing one of the few navigation references I had. This was because we'd been cruising upwards and were now above the 200 metre mark. Happily enough though, we had spotters on hand, mainly in the form of Neil and Steph.
I can't see the strobes. It says I'm 200 metres out.
You're right over the top of us.
Oh, I'm losing everything.
You're right over the top, the kind of you are.
Mine's telling me 186 meters.
Yeah, that's what mine's telling me. I've got 100 metres.
You're dead right over the top now.
Right.
I'm going to pull over backwards if I look over.
Which way am I heading? Am I going? Right, so I need to keep turning.
Yeah.
Am I going back out now?
So turn whichever way you want, just to say which way you're going. Tell me which way you're turning, Wayne.
I'm going straight. Am I going away from us though?
Yeah, you're going backwards. You're going to go behind the trees in a minute, so you're going to end up losing signal.
Okay, so I need to turn the other way, yeah?
You need to turn somewhere. Right or left, it doesn't matter which.
Right.
No, I'll pull up the one lower.
Shit.
I think I'm fine. Wayne.
You're okay, that's okay.
Which am I?
You're heading towards the road over there now. You're heading...
We say over there.
The road we came in on.
Okay,
Right.
so you're heading west now.
Okay.
Or sort of northwest.
Which way? If I'm looking straight ahead.
Yeah. So
Which-
your plane is now on your left shoulder.
Okay, so if I do a right-hander to come back round to us.
Yeah.
Okay, no, I couldn't see the strobes. I couldn't pick anything up in the field then.
Yeah.
You are quite high, that's the problem.
Oh, yeah, I am.
Your camera's not
So
going to look down that far.
So your plane is pretty much almost smack bang in front of you. You're coming back almost back towards us now, but you are quite high. You're about 150 up, aren't you?
No, 200 and something.
200,
so I
oh.
really need to lose some height here to find it.
And because of the brightness of the LEDs, they were able to spot the planes at 700 metres out and 200 metres up without too much hassle. So they were able to talk us round so we didn't end up behind ourselves where we'd lose line of sight and ultimately the video signal. Coming into land was always going to be tricky here. The field is surrounded by trees which are pretty much invisible in the dark, so I'm relying a lot on Neil being able to see my plane approach. We did get into a spotter bother, as you can hear, but without him seeing the lights disappear behind the tree, I'd have been in it.
Here.
Yeah. It's very hard to judge where you are in relation to the trees. Take a ever so slight left hand down.
Okay.
A little bit more.
I'm hoping I'm coming in from the
That's
corner.
perfect. Now
Oh, I
straighten
just
up.
saw Richard come in.
Did you?
Yeah. I saw you just go past, Rich.
A little bit left hand down again. Left hand down.
Yep.
Because there's a little high tree. Right.
We're
Okay.
at 23 metres here.
You're good. I don't know where you are in relation to the field though, so you'll have to rely on your strobes. Pull up.
I'm looking at the stroke.
Left hand down a bit. Perfect. So I don't know how far out you are in relation to that
Right,
bush.
30 metres now.
30 metres is...
I'm only 13 up, so I'm pretty
Right,
low.
you are in the field, I think. Oh, pull up, 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 pull up.
You're clear of it. You're coming in straight.
Right, you're okay. You're behind the tree.
Jesus.
Okay, now you're in the field. Now come down. Well done. That was really hard to call. I'll tell you where you were in a minute when you rolled.
So in conclusion, well, scary, but interesting. I'd like to fly again, perhaps somewhere where there's a little bit more on the ground, just so we can see a bit more, really. Also, I'm going to try the stock lens out next time, I think, just to see if that blooms out a little less.
She's behind the bush.
We've just done a night flight. It's dark. My plane is that light there.
Panicked me a bit because when I was up high, I was coming towards the field and I can't see anything. Can't see my stroke. Can't be right.
That's good.
Terrifying.
Bit of a drill in.
Yeah, it was a bit of a dodgy landing there, a bit of a thump, wasn't it?
I don't think it was that bad.